Hi, and welcome to the Vintage Read Show and the Royal Quarter Royal News in 15 minutes or less. Let's go. The Prince and Princess of Wales with their 3 children are relocating from Adelaide Cottage to Forest Lodge. Now, I was rather interested to hear about all this because I love all these grand old homes. This is a grand 8-bedroom, Grade 2 listed Georgian property on the 4,800-acre Windsor Great Park estate, and their plan is to move in by Christmas of this year. Now, it's been described as a fresh start for the family after a very challenging past few years, which includes, as you know, Queen Elizabeth II's death in 2022 and cancer diagnosis for both Catherine and King Charles III. Now, I did a little bit of further investigation, got out my trusty calculator. Forest Lodge is 328 years old. It's 3 stories high and it's constructed with a rather sturdy red brick. I think I understand the whole speed bump thing now because they're living a lot closer to Royal Lodge where Prince Andrew is, where he speeds in and out and up and down that road, so maybe they wanted to curtail him a little bit. It's 4 miles from where they're living now in Adelaide Cottage, and it's close to Lambrook School, of course, where the children are enrolled, so it's obviously very convenient. Now, this is the bit I love. It was formerly known as Holly Grove. Isn't that a lovely name, Holly Grove? Perfect that they're moving in, actually, at Christmas time. I think I prefer that to Forest Lodge, don't you? It needs new doors, windows, renovated ceilings, floors and fireplace modifications. So in other words, they're just gutting the interior of the place. William and Catherine are funding these renovations though, and the move themselves, ensuring no cost to the UK taxpayer. Now, if I was invited for the weekend, I'll give them a chance to settle in first. I'd amble through the rather large gardens. I'd visit the stables, the cellars, several cottages, a large pond and a tennis court. Plus, to Prince William's delight, you can see Wembley Arch from his bedroom window. Now, it's been reported that the couple intends for Forest Lodge to be their forever home, even after William ascends the throne, and there's not going to be any live-in staff either. That's a great way to maintain privacy, I think. No housekeepers' diaries for the Walesers. I presume staff will just arrive daily and do what they need to do. They're also going to retain other residences, including Anma Hall in Norfolk and Apartment 1A at Kensington Palace. And Apartment 1A, of course, is what just made Meghan seethe with jealousy. Well, I hope they'll be very happy. It's already attracting the usual carping critics. However, they are struggling to carp because, like I said, they're funding it all themselves. Now on to another story. King Charles III and Queen Camilla were visibly moved to tears during the ceremony commemorating the 80th anniversary of VJ Day, which marked the end of World War II. An 105-year-old veteran, Yavar Abbas, a former captain in the 11th Sikh Regiment, did go off script. He saluted the king, called him "my brave king" for attending the event despite his ongoing cancer. Abbas also praised Charles for ensuring that the 14th Army, known as the Forgotten Army, so I will not forget them, was recognised for their service in the Far East after VE Day. Now, this heartfelt tribute seemed to deeply affect both Charles and Camilla, with the Queen seen to wipe away tears and looking at her husband with pride. And Charles met Abbas at a veterans reception, greeting him warmly and expressing gratitude. And this is the quote: "It's quite extraordinary. You didn't have to say all that." And Abbas later told press, "I admire the man. He's human." Must be said a little too human for some. The criticism does continue, but I think it was a genuine moment. And my first cynical thought, I'll admit, that it was cooked up by Palace PR, but I admonished myself, so you do not need to do it for me. My hope is, though, that Charles will take definitive action over Andrew and Harry and enable William to start his reign unencumbered. Now, the Duchess of Edinburgh kicked things off visiting another 105-year-old Royal Marine this time, James Jim Wren, at his care home in Salisbury. And she wanted to learn about his experience in the World War II. Now, Wren survived the sinking of the HMS Repulse in 1941, and he was taken prisoner for 3.5 years until the war ended. Now, he did surprise her. She asked him, "Now, what made you join the Navy?" And he replied very bluntly, "Nothing. Nothing compelled me to join the Navy." He was actually interested in joining another branch, but Sophie just replied, "Oh, well, fair enough," which is a very Sophie reply, I think. Now, there were very interesting claims in the last few days made by the author-journalist Andrew Morton regarding Princess Diana's reaction to the rift between William and Harry. Now, my personal opinion is that it probably wouldn't have happened if Diana had been still alive. I think she would have seen Meghan Markle coming from a mile off. She would have seen her off. "Stay away from my boy, you 2-bit 6 on the call sheet wannabe." So I don't think the rift between the brothers would have happened. I think it would have been avoided, other than the continuing tension from Harry's simmering jealousy and lack of sausages. But I do wonder too if Catherine and William would have ended up together. You let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll share them in a future video. Because Diana was a bit of a snob, you know. She liked her set. I think she probably would have steered William to marry an aristo girl from their sort of social circles. However, maybe not. Maybe Catherine would have won her over just like she won everybody else over with her natural grace and warmth. Anyway, enough of my speculation and enough of your speculation in the comments. Back to Andrew Morton, and this is what he actually said. The Princess Diana would no doubt be devastated at the current rift between William and Harry that we know has persisted for many, many years. And this is the quote, and I admit it actually shocked me. "Diana always used to say she had 2 boys for a reason. The younger would be there to support the older in the lonely task as future king." Isn't that interesting? So that would mean that it was Diana behind the whole spare, set to serve the heir sort of vibe, wouldn't it? Maybe Harry has been blaming the wrong parent all along. Surely not. Also, King Charles, eco-warrior that he is, has installed a 2,000-panel solar farm at Sandringham. Of course he has. And Hello Magazine report that aerial photographs taken of the project, which is now complete after 10 months of work, show how far the sun-powered panels stretch. Now, what's clever about their placement is that from ground level, they're largely shielded from public view because when they're on the ground, they're shielded by all the surrounding woodland. The solar will provide energy for his Norfolk home, and any remaining will go back into the grid. And finally, after his wife Olivia gave birth to their first child, Cosima, last month, Hugh Grosvenor is still considering whether to ask Prince Harry to be godfather. That's according to The Telegraph. Friends of the couple say they've not yet made a final decision about Has, but it's understood that Prince William will definitely be godfather. Good call, Hugh. That's about it from me. I'll see you again very shortly. Bye.